Any minute now.
Yeah, yeah. I guess you were
I
doing
made it.
another live, right?
Yeah. What if I was just like watching your live for like 15 minutes, just not
I
coming on?
it probably would have been on a different account because I was watching like, okay, like I knew you were going to be on this account here. So I was just waiting and watching. Well, I really wanted to turn all of this over to our listeners and ask them like what do they want to know about you? And so a lot of these are really hard-hitting questions, just to warn you.
I'm prepared.
So
I've done my research.
all right, perfect. So we'll start with this is probably the most difficult question to answer. What's your favorite chicken nugget dipping sauce?
Oh my God. Medium buffalo
Medium buffalo.
with
Okay.
on the side a glass of milk to cut the spice.
Okay. See, I'm not like a, well, I guess we're not talking about wings here. I'm not like a wings or nuggets girl, but
No,
that sounds delicious.
I am definitely a wings girl.
You are a wings girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
buffalo wings for sure.
Oh my God. Well, what have you been doing during quarantine? Are you with your brothers or are you alone? Like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
I've spent some time with my brothers. Right now, I'm in Brooklyn. I'm at my girlfriend's house. I've been here
Okay.
for like 2 weeks or so. Um, I don't know. So I've been saying this, but we were supposed to be in Brazil right now, doing Lollapalooza. We were supposed to be all throughout South America, which we were so
Right.
looking forward to.
Yeah.
Obviously, that got canceled. And as soon as that got canceled, then we realized, okay, we're going to have to postpone our tour. We kind of got into songwriting mode. It just kind of turned on. Whenever we're on tour, we never really can write songs that we're proud of. Just something about being on tour. It's a very simple mindset of, okay, right now we go to the dressing room, then there's sound check. Your schedule is just made for you, and so your mind doesn't really go to creative places, just at least for us. And so as soon as we're not on tour, we switch out of that frame of mind, and we woke up the first day of quarantine and got really inspired to start writing again. And we just kind of thought, okay, either we go crazy today doing nothing, or we use this day productively, and we've done it for a month straight now.
Can you hear my dog, by the way, in the background?
No.
No, you can't. Okay, perfect. He is freaking out, so I wasn't sure if I needed to like go shut him up or what.
Why is he freaking out? Does he want to come into the room?
He does want to come into the room. Should I let him in?
Yeah, let him
Real
in.
quick? Okay, I'll let him in. You'll see I'm wearing sweatpants, so.
All right, I'll answer questions while she's gone. Play Club Penguin again. Yeah, for any of you that didn't know that, I did a meet and greet, a weird makeshift meet and greet on Club Penguin. Do you play Club Penguin?
I don't even know what Club Penguin
No?
is, but my dog ran away, so he's.
Oh, okay.
long gone.
It was a game that was big in like 2005. That is like an online game where you're like a little cartoon penguin and you talk to your friends and play mini games. I went on and said I dropped my username, and then all the fans came on and we crashed the server twice. We
Oh my
overloaded
God.
what Club Penguin was allowed to have. And then with just some of them, we did like a virtual meet and greet. It was fun.
Oh my God, that is so awesome. So one of the questions that I did get for you, and maybe that might be the answer, but what's something that makes you feel nostalgic? Would you say that's definitely one of those things, or is there something else that just brings you right back to so many good memories?
Let me think. Yeah, definitely Club Penguin. Songs really do, and I think that's something we try to access a lot in our music. Songs, certain melodies. I think it's really fun when we're writing and a certain melody or chord progression will pop into our head, and we say that reminds us of something from our childhood, and we can't quite pinpoint it, but we know that it makes us feel like little kids again, so we figure out a way to put it in. That's how we think a lot, because we have a feeling like if we feel nostalgic about this, someone else is going to relate in some way.
Exactly. That's awesome. Speaking of like the songwriting process and just music in general, I got a few questions from listeners about synesthesia. I guess you have it?
Yeah.
Where it's like your brain processes data in like more than one sense. And like, so how do you experience that? Kind of describe like how that happens and how you experience playing and listening to music.
Right. So synesthesia is like crossing of wires. So some people will see it like they hear the word Monday and they think green, like, oh, Mondays are green. That's not how I have it. I have it with hearing hearing music and seeing visuals. So with entire songs, I see colors. So I see our song Weak. I've always seen it as like a purplish blue. And so I kind of, it's stuck like that. And I think, okay, if we're going to have another single, do we want it to be more purplish blue like Weak, or do we want it to be more like yellowish orange like 100 Bad Days or whatever? So that's often how I think with that. But when
That's
we're
cool.
producing, I see more shapes, especially with drums. Like, for instance, a kick drum. Oh, I don't have a speaker here. It would be cool to show you an example. But with a kick drum, like, let's say, like the EDM kick drums that have a lot of attack that are like with a lot of,
Right. Yep.
I see that as like a triangle. I see like the attack on top is like a triangle.
Okay.
And so let's say I was using that kind of kick, when trying to figure out what snare drum to use, I try to pick a snare that has a visual that like fits over the triangle for me. So like a clap that kind of droops down and looks like a weeping willow that kind of fits onto the kick. This sounds very weird, but it's literally any drum I picture shape, and so I want I want to paint a picture basically with the song that all fits together.
Yeah, no, it's all so fascinating because I've never heard anyone else like mention that they have it, but it's something that I definitely do experience. And so it's actually kind of refreshing to hear like, oh, this is a common thing, and musicians like
how do you experience it?
It's kind of like, so I don't like actually visually see the colors. It's more of like a thought in my mind. So it doesn't like distract me or anything, but it definitely is like a mix of colors. Like for example, The Weeknd's Blinding Lights, I see like mostly it's like mostly green, like lasers shooting up in the air with like a little bit of purple, and they're like dancing lights. So it's kind of like I see a lot of lasers when I listen to music. But yeah, so it's really fascinating to hear that other people experience that, and the whole like Mondays are green thing. I guess I have a little bit of that. I associate things and like categorize things by colors as well.
Right.
So.
I think it's interesting that like me or you may hear Blinding Lights and see different colors, but what makes it a good song is that it evokes something visually.
Exactly. Does it affect how you perform at all? Someone had asked that. Like, is there any downside to having synesthesia? Is it distracting at all, or is it mostly just like a super pleasant feeling?
I guess the only thing that's distracting or not productive is when I'm working with someone else. Like we often write or produce for other artists, and often they have opinions, which is like totally valid and a great thing. But often it can annoy me a little bit because I'm like, oh no, the kick drum and the snare have to fit together like this, which is a stupid rule that I've come up with in my mind. But if they're really adamant, no, it can't be that, it just confuses my mental picture a little bit. I'm like, really? Does that really fit together for you? It doesn't look like a good picture in my brain.
Right.
But to answer your question about the live performing, I think it really helps because we think about the live show very much in tandem with the music. And the visuals on stage and the effects and the backgrounds and the set and the video wall. And it really helps to think, okay, our song Sober Up has always felt very like wood colored to me. Let's do something on stage that feels very wood colored, for example.
Yeah. That's so, okay. So you say wood colored, like, do you see like wood grain, or is it like brown, or do you like, because that's so different.
I see, wood grain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's there. I guess there's just so many layers to it. I'm sure it's just so different for everyone. That's just so fascinating.
And it also kind of helps because we're working on an album right now. Like we're probably a third of the way done with our next album, and it really helps to try to paint a picture. So for Neo Theater, our last album, we had the wood-colored one, we had the purplish one, we had the glossy, like chrome-colored one, at least in my mind, which means nothing to anybody else, but in my mind. So it kind of helps when building this next album. Okay, we have the wood-colored one, we have a warmer color, now we need a colder color. It helps build that portfolio out a little bit.
Okay. There is a question I don't think you can probably like actually answer, like what the name of the song is. Someone asked what your favorite unreleased song is. So without revealing what it's called, in terms of like wood grain or glossy or chrome or whatever, which one is your favorite one on your new album?
It is, how have I pictured it? I think it's more silver and metallic. I'll tell you the name.
Okay.
I don't care. I'll tell you the name. It's called My Play. It's probably my favorite one that we've done so far, and it's about something
Okay.
very like serious that happened in my family that I'm very proud of how we were able to translate into a song.
Okay. Very cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad you were able to just go ahead and
exclusive.
answer that.
And
I felt like I had to
1065
kind of dance
exclusive.
around it. If you could join any other band besides AJR, what band would it be?
The Blue Man Group. I've always secretly wanted to be in the Blue Man Group. We met them recently. Do you know the Blue Man
Cool.
Group?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw their show recently, and then we found out that they were fans of us, which was so cool. So we got to meet them after.
Oh my God.
I just think I saw them, and I was just like, those are the coolest guys in the world up there. They're not talking. You don't know what they're going to do next. Like, they're just so much higher and cooler than me. I want to be that.
Right. That's so cool. Similar to this is kind of similar to asking your parents like who the favorite child is, but which two band members are the closest and why? Because you're all brothers, so like which two of you are closest?
I think I have a very different relationship with Jack than I do with Adam. I guess if I had to pick, me and Jack are probably the most similar.
Okay.
But it's just kind of different. I don't know. It's kind of a cop-out answer, but I can't really pick. I just have very different relationships with both of them.
Yeah. Okay. That's yeah. I mean, like I said, it's like asking your parents like who their favorite child is. The relationships are different. Of course, there's a favorite, but they're never gonna say. No. What is your Hogwarts house?
Oh, I found out. Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw. Okay. Very cool.
What about you?
Back in the day, I really liked Ravenclaw, but I feel like I'm more of a Slytherin.
Oh.
Which is an unpopular take, but I think that that's what my house would probably be.
Slytherin is not necessarily evil. It's cunning and right, and a little bit maybe manipulative, or no?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. So a lot of people are loving the Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff. That's very cool. I think we're probably running out of time, but I don't know. Do we have time for one more question, maybe?
Definitely, yeah.
All right, perfect. So what was your initial reaction when you first saw the trailer for Disney Pixar's Soul, which has Overture playing in the background?
That was very cool. When you get something like that, like a license for it to be in a commercial or a movie or whatever, so many of them come through and we say, yeah, that would be great. And then it never happens. Like it's so often a letdown. So when it actually came out and someone sent it to me, it took my breath away. We think about Pixar and Disney so much while we're making music. Just how visually stunning it is, how you can relate on so many levels, how a movie can be about fish swimming around, but really it's about fatherhood and trusting your son. Like it just works on so many levels. And we try to do that with music. We try to do, this is just a song about, a baby being born. We have a song called Birthday Party. It's just a song about a newborn baby. Wait, no, it's more complex than that. It's a song about immigration and foreign policy and innocence and expecting the world and becoming disillusioned. So Pixar has always been our absolute #1 pinnacle of art making in terms of looking up to them. So to have our song in any way associated with them was very unreal.
Yeah, that's very cool because, I'm guessing we're probably about the same age. So both of us grew up with Pixar movies, and that's like a huge deal. So I'm sure to have your song in that movie is just like amazing.
I can't wait to see the movie. It looks so good.
I know, it really does. Yeah. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure you have some other place to be. I don't want to hold you up, but thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you soon.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Have a good one.